Oh, I like follow-up videos like this. This is, of course, a follow-up to this article and with the video, well, a very short article. More evidence, states, or fictions. And so a little context, this was a response to a motion to dismiss that I helped someone write. And it had to do with a traffic offense. So we'll go real quick. The traffic offense is no valid operator's license. Oh, a tax wasn't paid. So obviously no injury, no damage. So we filed a motion. They filed a response. It's ridiculous. It's non-responsive, but it's evidence that, the state of Indiana is not a physical geographic area because it's operating by and through this attorney, Stephen McGrady, and it's making requests and it's asking for things and it actually regulates stuff. So it actually builds its own road. So we know that the state of Indiana, like any other state, it's political, it's a fiction, it's a pseudonym for people like Michael. Stephen McGrady. So a little more context in this traffic situation, this traffic proceeding, the first time they were supposed to have a trial, the police officer didn't show up. Now, like I've mentioned before, 75% of the time we filed a motion to dismiss, which is based on a lack of jurisdiction because there's no valid cause of action, there's no allegation of injury, there's no allegation of any kind of damage, and there's no actual real adversary, so there's no jurisdiction because, of course, under their public relations, the courts are only limited to cases or controversies, valid causes of action. The word cause is kind of an indication of what's going on there. So she wasn't accused of causing anything. So the first time the cop doesn't show up, I think this is significant because it happens so often, and we have reports that the police officer is still there for other trials. He just isn't going to participate in this particular one. So here they get to court. I think I believe it was yesterday, May 17th. Where, again, for the second time, he says the cop was a no-show for a second time. Now, he's blowing off 2 subpoenas. I think that's pretty significant here. But make of it what, we don't have a testimony from the officer, the cop, or the judge, the cop, the prosecutor, or the judge, so we don't know for sure. But we do know, we have evidence here that the police officer did not show up for a second trial. So when he says, I'm sure he was notified to appear, well, of course. Yeah, they're given a subpoena. They're given a subpoena to appear at the trial. And if they're not given a subpoena, well, that's evidence that they don't want a trial. Somebody doesn't want the trial if the prosecutor doesn't have a subpoena issued. So what happened the first time, the cop didn't show up. The judge just reset it. And so they show up on Thursday for the second date. He says the judge started off by trying to confuse us, he thinks. She asked, and the she is this Commissioner Stephanie Campbell. So Stephanie Campbell, she asked if we would like a contested hearing. I blurted out that the state has no witness. Again, Stephanie asked if we would like a contested hearing so they can proceed. I again blurted out the state has no witness. How can you proceed? So Ms. Campbell there, she replied, we're just going to proceed anyway. That's what judges and lawyers do. They just don't care that you have anything to say. That's why the IRS has said, well, this is a hearing. I can hear you. So finally, my wife said no. And the judge moved and asked the prosecutor, which is Stephen McGrady, if he had any evidence to present, and he responded no. Well, he had no witness. The judge asked if we had any evidence to present, and we said no. Well, of course, they don't have the burden of proof. So the judge dismissed the case due to lack of evidence. So we have the evidence of this. They went and they sent me this today, and it's the evidence. It's no valid, that's the charge, the count. And if we go down here, see, state of Indiana, the plaintiff. Not a geographic area if it's a plaintiff. And we come down here. Whoa, excuse me. So we're going to go. Oh, here it is. State appears by Marc McGrady. I thought it was Stephen McGrady. I guess I got his name wrong there. It says the state, having failed to meet its burden of proof, finds the defendant not guilty. Now, there was not a trial, so the issue of not guilty is not even proper, and that's not what was related to me as to what happened at this before the hearing. There was no hearing because there was no witness, and the judge just dismissed it. So, despite the critics that say that I've never helped anybody get something thrown out or there's no merit, well, here's the evidence right here. We filed the motion to dismiss. They filed their response. The police officer didn't show up twice. So, why does the subpoena? So, it all boils down to that to have a valid cause of action, they know they have to have allegations of injury and damage. There has to be a true adversary, and to have a true adversary, there has to be a violation of a legal right, which they don't have here. And so, despite the fact that they're not saying that they don't have a driver's license. They're not contesting that. They're just not required to have one. And their only witness failed to show up twice. So again, 75% of the time we filed a motion to dismiss, the cop doesn't show up. They're blowing off a subpoena. And I want to again congratulate them for helping to stick it to the man and keeping these people from getting not a lot of money, but every little bit counts.